Let me share my screen and make sure everything is working good. Share screen. There we go. Can you see my house?
Now I can.
Now you can. Okay.
Oh, it's so cute.
In the images that they put online, they added grass. I'm like, oof, we need a landscape. Okay, let's see here. Thank you for those of you who are joining us. We're excited to present today. I think maybe just 1 to 2 minutes and then we'll get the show on the road. There we go. Oh yeah, we have people joining. That's exciting. Let's see here. 12 o'clock. Yeah, I think 2 minutes. 2 minutes and we'll start. I think that's a good.
Sounds good.
Safe time. In the meantime, I'll just make sure I have all of my correct windows open. Nothing's worse than talking and then your email noise starts going off. So lesson learned, close all of that ahead of time.
Right? Everyone's seeing your little chats pop up.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good to go in that aspect. For those of you who are already here, thank you so much for joining. We'll get started in just a minute, but just a friendly reminder as we're going, love to have your questions. Just throw them into that Q&A box you see as one of your Zoom functions, and we'll be monitoring that. Okay, it's right at 12:02. Looks like attendance has started to slow, so I think we're safe to start.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Ready? Okay, all right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Katie Smith. I am a homeownership counselor out of Adair's Crestwell office, so kind of the Mid-Willamette Valley, Oregon area. And my co-host, Shari, I'm so excited to have you. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shari, homeownership counselor out of Caldwell. Funny, they're Creswell, Caldwell. And I'm in the Boise Valley area.
We have a special treat for you today, or I'm going to say it's a special treat, but I'll also say that I have been incredibly excited and also weirdly nervous to share this house since the day that they came to take pictures. So the house that you are seeing today is my house. It's a little bit different format than what you're used to, and I will explain. But first, I want to talk about how we ended up with these floor plans. So as you know, if you've watched these, Adair has multiple options or routes to get to your dream home. So starting with our pre-engineered plans. So if you go to adairhomes.com, you'll see this whole multitude of pre-engineered plans that you can either run with exactly as they're designed, or you can modify slightly. Option 2 then being to do like a full modification of what you see on the plan. So we're removing walls, we're adding square footage, we're reconfiguring altogether. And then option 3 being full custom, meaning you come to us and you have either drawn up plans or you found plans online that you love and you just want to find out what your price will be with Adair. So very, very recently, we added an option 4, which is we now have access to the vault of previously built and designed Adair custom homes. So you could come to us and say, I want a 2,000 square foot farmhouse. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Here's my requirements. And then Shari and I can dig into the vault and be like, okay, here's some previous ones. Or any of these getting closer to what you're looking for? So we've tried to make it as simple as possible to get you to, your final destination, the house that's going to work perfectly for you and your family.
Oh, it's so exciting to have that vault open and have those like another 200 plans to look through. And
absolutely. I've been scrolling through them just because I weirdly love looking at floor plans even after all these years. Are you the same? Yeah.
Me too.
Okay. So we need to start with Adair. We're going to put together a budget for you. So say you go to Adair and you're like, I don't have the land. I haven't even started shopping for land maybe, but I know what I want in a house and I want to know what's left in my budget. So here's my grand total where I want to be at or below, what's left in my budget for the land. So I'm going to share with you. This is a little form that I use for all new presentations. And these are my numbers, and bear in mind, this was 2 years ago. However, so I knew I work at Adair. I've drawn out and quoted my dream house a multitude of times. So I knew we needed about $350,000 in our budget just for the house. And I knew we were looking for rural property, and I know what that entails. So I used an estimated site prep budget of $100,000, which left me about $200,000 for a property. So these were kind of my preliminary, here's how I'm getting started. And we can draw these numbers up for anyone. So come to us, know where you want to be, we'll give you the rest, or we'll at least give you that baseline so you can tweak them and shop according to what you have available. So here's what happened though. We met with our realtor and she started showing us properties, and then she found this property that was way over budget, and we made the mistake of going to look at it. And then of course we fell in love with it. So that suddenly changed our budget. So we spent $100,000 more on land than we had intended to spend, which meant we no longer had that budget for the dream house that I had drafted up. So here's where we started. At the time, the Mount Rainier was my end goal. I love the Mount Rainier. It's a fan favorite year after year. So I'm sure most of you have seen it or heard of it. It's a beautiful house. But I could no longer afford it. And so I started looking at custom plans. This is a 3,200 square foot house. I started looking more in line of a 2,000 square foot house. And the plan that I ended up with kind of fell into my lap. So let me show you that plan. So this is downstairs, very similar setup to the Rainier. We've got the open concept kitchen and great room here. We've got the den in the dining room and the primary suite, but just a much more condensed version. And then upstairs, just 2 bedrooms and 2 closets and a bathroom, and that's it. So this is a 2,100 square foot house. The way that we went about ordering this house was we found the online plans. There were things we wanted to change. So we paid the fee to meet with the drafting department. And then we sat down with drafting and we crawled through these plans and we tweaked and modified according to our family's wants and desires. And let me tell you, that is a fun meeting because you have the head of custom homes in that meeting, you have the drafting head, and then you have the purchasing manager. So you got all these big brains that are offering up ideas and ways to make this better fit you, and everyone's focused on you and your wants, and it is so fun. So in game was this set of plans that they produced and sent to us for approval. So let me tell you what we're about to look at. We have a side entry garage, and then this added storage space. You come from the garage through the utility room. You've got your half bath here in the hallway. And then into the kitchen, we've got a pantry, big open kitchen. Across the way is an opening straight into the dining room. Great room here, primary suite with big closet under the stairs. And then den and dining room, of course. So the stairs starting from back here at the back of the house. And then up the stairs, you've got the 2 bedrooms. And then we added an option to do an unfinished bonus room over the garage. So Adair basically quoted us for attic ready trusses. And then they left this alone. They gave us a subfloor and some electricity, and then we're going to take it from there.
Katie, is that open to below? Just curious.
Okay, that's a great question. You'll see. So we chose not to because I have 2 boys who are going to be in this room, and I thought I maybe didn't want to hear them all the time. But drafting actually suggested, do you want this to vault? Do you want it to be flat and really tall, or do you want it to be an open loft to down below? So they gave us all of the options, which I loved.
Very nice. Speaking of drafting, we have a question. What is the additional charge to customize the plan with the drafting department?
That's a good question. So hey, Natasha, if you are full custom, meaning you're just starting from scratch, we don't have a plan that's even close to yours, you pay $5,000 to meet with drafting and have your plans drafted, designed, and produced for you. If you pick just from our vault, like, hey, we found this plan, we want to tweak a little bit, that's a $1,000 charge to get that drafted according to your needs and then updated for pricing and all that.
So if I wanted your plan, which I do, Don't judge me. It's
Yes.
only $1,000.
Exactly. I like to rename it the Katie for you. Yes. Okay. Okay. So what I did differently, and I thought a lot about this, when to have the photographer come. So if you've watched our virtuals, you know, we have the photographer come right before a family moves in, which is great because it's just clean slate, blank canvas. You can kind of imagine and design it in your own head. But my thought here was, so Shari and I meet obviously with a lot of people. And sometimes when we show them these plans and we're like, hey, you've got a 15 by 12 primary suite. They're like, cool, that means nothing to me. I have no idea what that means. I can't visualize it. So you have the people that come in and they know, they can look at this plan and they can visualize it in real life, just built, and they know if it will work and what they need to change. But it's, you know, just as often that people come in and they're like, oh, they're all starting to look the same. It's just black and white. I don't know how to visualize this. So what I thought, the idea behind waiting to have our photographer come out until we had moved in was that I wanted you to see furniture in the room. So now you could say, okay, she's got a 5.5-foot island. They comfortably have 3 bar stools. So you could, maybe it would help visualize for those of us who struggle with picturing the finished product. So any questions, Shari, or should we jump in?
No, we're good.
We're gonna jump in. Okay. Let's see here. Close this, open this, and go to the house. Okay, so before I push play, let's make it bigger. This is the front elevation of our house. We do not yet have any landscaping done or any finished concrete done. So it's not extra beautiful down here in the front yet, but it will be. So what you were looking at, of course, all James Hardie siding all the way around. We've got the 50-year shingle roof. We've got the lifetime Geldwin windows, and Geldwin has so many styles of windows. So you can see we've got kind of a farm style grid. We've got some single hung, we've got some awning, we've got some sliders. There's so many ways to customize even windows to fit what you're looking for. I will start the video and then just kind of pause sporadically to tell you the size of the room and what's in the room. And please share your questions. I would love to see them. All right, so coming in through the front door here, which I feel bad. I made the photographers climb a ladder to get in the front door. So we've got the entry space. So if you're picturing this, to your left is the dining room, to the right is the den, and then just a coat closet here. And I did all standard. So standard finished carpentry, standard doors, standard, you know, knobs and hinges. My biggest upgrade was what you're looking at here with the engineered hardwood floors.
So great, since you have 2 boys.
Yes. I am almost regretting not doing luxury vinyl. I think it's a little more life-proof, but I do love the hardwood. So we had never had a den before. I didn't know what to do with this space. So we have just, this is a 11.5 by 11.5 foot room. So could have done an office, a comfortably big office, a library, a den. There's a lot of things you could do that space with that space, or even another bedroom for sure. Into our dining room. So for reference, this is 11.5 by 11.5 again. And the table you're looking at is 6 foot by 3 foot. So comfortably can walk all the way around it. And even when I put in the 2 foot extension, you can still comfortably walk all the way around it. So there's room in here. I know dining tables are always a big point of conversation in my design appointments. People usually have a large family or something in mind when they're designing this space. So if you know how many you're looking to seat, then we can kind of start here and go bigger or smaller and kind of give you an idea of what you need to do. This is so intimidating. Okay, so we've got a great room. In my original quote, I had planned like this full height cultured stone fireplace, which someday I would still love to have, but it just did not make the cut. So I'm going to pause here. Okay, so Adair has partnered with Ridgecrest Cabinetry, and I always love to plug Ridgecrest because I think they have a beautiful product. So award-winning cabinet shop, check out their website, Ridgecrest Cabinets. But what you see here is a Naughty Alder shaker style cabinet. You can do this same stain, this tobacco, or I think we did bourbon, sorry. bourbon stain shaker style, that's within our standards. So I upgraded to the naughty, but this beautiful look standard. If you're not looking for the naughty, you can get this in that base price of our home. I did do the option to delete all of the standard knobs and provide my own. And then I also deleted backsplash and provided my own. So you have some fun items to play around with if you are a do-it-yourselfer and you feel like you want to be involved. But also keep in mind, if you are not a do-it-yourselfer, Adair works with Imser tile. So, I mean, Imser has every tile under the sun, really. So you could absolutely have had them do or price the backsplash of your dreams, or even solid surface. So no reason why you have to do anything yourself, but if you like to, there's options. We also provided our own appliances. So Adair has Whirlpool brand stainless steel appliances. Standard would have been a 30-inch range with an upper cabinet and a microwave underneath. So we widened to just a 36-inch range, and we had Adair do the stub out in the electricity, so gas and power are there. And then we brought this in ourselves. And then Adair also did for us, they did the venting and the electricity for the hood, and then we did our own hood. We extended our cabinets all the way to the ceiling, and it's funny, I almost opened some of these cabinets for the photographer. So from about here on up, there's nothing on the shelves because I cannot reach them. So the only thought here was that I didn't want to dust on top of the cabinet, so they went straight up to the ceiling.
And did you do 9-foot ceilings?
We did do 9-foot ceilings.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally forgot to mention that. So fun things you can do with cabinets, open shelving, maybe a smaller glass ready cabinet above. What are some fun things you're doing, Shari?
We're doing the trash pull outs. Yeah, pretty much you name it, we can do it. The big one we're doing is the floating shelves right now. So those are really popular.
I love that. Lazy Susans, built-in wine racks, plate racks. I mean, you just call out what you want. And then same with the island. I've seen some really amazing islands. So just very specific to what you're looking for. We'll quote it. And then you can decide if you want to modify or run with it as designed and quoted. But our island, we left very simple as designed. So it's 5.5 foot wide. We comfortably have 3 chairs there. And then it's 3 foot deep. So it's got just a 9-inch overhang and then cabinets on the front. Nice. Otherwise, no real modifications. We did do a solid surface, but we didn't do an undermount sink. We stuck with a top mount. And I think that's really it in here as far as upgrades. Let this keep going a little bit. I don't cook, but I feel like this makes it look like I know how to. So I really like that.
I was going to compliment your colors, your choices. Everything is very nice and cohesive.
Thank you so much. It is weirdly intimidating to share this. I was so excited and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Well, and it's so different too. We help buyers every single day to do this. And we go through every different color, style, and selections with all these different buyers. But to do your own too, it truly brings like it's almost like an insecurity thing, because I've built my own house before too, and it's crazy.
Yes, yeah. I paused here because I wanted to show, so Adair never provides a refrigerator, but we do, as a standard, give you the plumbed line for your ice maker or water line, and then also the plug. So you could have in this space, if you want one of those massive deep freeze, like side by sides, we could have absolutely modified the cabinets to accommodate or gone taller, or so again, just ways to customize it to fit what you're after.
Tasha would like to know what the paint color in the kitchen is. It's so pretty.
I have no idea, but I can find out and I'll send it your way. I better make a note.
I can't believe you let the paparazzi share a photo of your child.
I know. I don't think you can really beat anybody in that picture.
Just kidding.
Okay, let's play. We did do soft close hinges, which I think is really important if you have small kids who slam everything in the house. So I have no regrets about the soft close hinges.
Agreed.
I do like this. We are a family who uses a formal dining room. So I like that it's really close to the kitchen, but it's a separate space. And then also, for less formal meals, we just use the island. The Rainier actually has like that nook area between the great room and the island. So you can have, you know, a less formal and a formal dining.
Yeah, like a little breakfast table.
Mm-hmm. This is half bath. And I was worried in looking at the plans that this half bath was going to be like, you know, you barely squeeze in there and turn around and leave kind of a thing, but it was surprisingly spacey. So this is about the minimum size we will give to a half bath. And it, to me, it doesn't feel cramped at all, but we did do a standard vinyl floor in here. So this is a Mannington sheeted vinyl floor, standard trim, standard toilet, standard pedestal. And then I added the shelves.
And it looks like you also upgraded your mirror.
I deleted the mirrors and did my own. Yep, good point. I thought about keeping the mirrors, but they're glued on and I didn't want to deal with that. So I went ahead and bought all my mirrors and did them myself.
Oh, I love it. It's cute.
Thank you. Okay, I'll pause here. So this is one room that I have regrets about. So we did this big storage area in the garage, which is directly behind this wall. And at the time I was like, oh, I'd love to have all the storage in the garage. You know, it'll be great. And now I'm like, oh, I wish we would have given some of that space to the utility room, because this is kind of enough space for a walkway to the garage, but then it's, you know, not enough if somebody's taking their shoes off and somebody else is trying to walk through. So this is one space I personally wish I would have done a little bit differently, but no upgrades in this room. So Adair did the plumb plug-in vent for the washer dryer. I did the backsplash. It's still actually in action when this video is being taken. I just tried to hide the hole here. And then I added the shelves and the cabinets. So totally could have had them do a rough-in for a sink, or even do the cabinets and do a sink. So just, again, there's a variety of ways to get to the end goal, either by doing it yourself if that's your preference, or just having Adair do it and kind of washing your hands of it. Standard vinyl floors in there again. I do love those floors. I think they're
I was gonna say, I don't know why you were worried. You decorate fantastic. I mean, it's a great video so far.
I sent this video to a lot of people before I went live. Anything I need to change or hide before this goes on air. We did do our own pendant lights, which again, Adair can do just a rough-in, so cap it at the ceiling, and then you could do your own light, because there's 1 million pendant lights out there to shop from. So if you're somebody who likes to shop, there's ways, again, to kind of make it fit your needs. Okay, I want to pause here. So this great room is actually pretty big. It's about 15 foot 9 inches wide, and that's from this wall to the kitchen wall. And then it's about 20 foot, sorry, I did that the opposite. 15 foot 9 from here to here. No, that's right. And then 20 foot from here to here. So I think, in my opinion, in this video, it looks a little condensed right here. So I want to point out, we've got about 5 feet behind the couch. So you could, in that space, expand a little bit, or maybe use it as a point of reference if you think you're going to need more space. But my kids ride their little trikes around here, so I like to keep a nice runway open. So we've got a full 7 foot couch, love seat, little chair. And then we are headed to the primary suite. So this room, I'll pause again. We've got a king size bed in here. So, you know, a king size, like 6.5 by 6 3/4, essentially. The room itself is 15.5 wide by 12.7 deep. I was worried it was going to be too tight when a dresser, and we've got a chair in the corner and everything was in there, but I never once felt like it is. It feels abundant, plentiful to me. We had Adair do the rough-in for our sconces. We did the sconces. And then I also changed out the lights in here. So really, they gave me the floor and a nice open slate, and then we just ran with it from there. Into the primary bath. So we've got, when we ordered and built our house, it was the 05 spec, which now we're in an 06 or an 07 spec. So now, as a standard, Adair would do a tile deck drop-in tub in this space. We just had Adair cap the plumbing under the floor. So someday maybe we'll add a tub, or if we sell it, someone will have an option to add a tub, but we decided not to do the tub for now. And then this is just a fiberglass shower insert. I would love to replace it with tile someday, but it didn't make the cut for now. And I actually love this shower. So that has been a win. pause right here. So now as a standard, if Adair does a solid surface countertop, they're going to automatically modify these sinks to be undermount. So you could do an oval undermount or a rectangular undermount. And then they're going to do this standard as well, a light fixture over each sink. The mirrors, again, I added, and then I used leftover backsplash from the kitchen in here. So subway tile would have been standard. And then you can do, again, so many options through IMSR tile as far as backsplash and flooring. We didn't go into my closet right here because it's shameful. So I went ahead and left that door closed. No questions?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I do love your sconces though, and we do offer that now. So that's really exciting.
The sconces or the rough-in. I've had people who plan way better than me, and they've been doing a rough-in over where they plan to hang artwork. So they've got one of the little sconces pointed right down. I love it. Let me tell you about the upstairs. So I am planning on my boys destroying the upstairs. I did not want to spend any money up here. So we've got all standards, standard carpet, standard handrail, standard baseboards and door wraps and all of that. And then for reference, so these bedrooms are both the same size. They're mirror images of each other. They're about 11.5 by 11.5. And then I had really hoped that the photographer would go in the closet because the walk-in closets are a 4x4, which it's kind of a reoccurring closet size for a lot of our plans, not necessarily for a primary suite, but for a secondary bedroom. And it is really spacious. I was pleasantly surprised. So not a good shot of the closet, but in my opinion, very user-friendly. And then the boys' bathroom. So again, this is about the smallest size we will do for a full bath. And again, I don't feel like it's small or cramped. So we've got the standard tub shower combo in here. We've got just the smaller 30-inch vanity with a sink, backsplash, toilet. That's it. And we're back to upstairs, we're 8-foot ceilings.
Perfect.
I'm going to pause here really quick because in this door, I don't know if you remember from the plans, we have a mechanical room upstairs. So our furnace is housed in here. They don't go in here, but it has also turned into an amazing extra storage space / closet. And then through that room, you access the attic. So instead of having an attic hatch, we can just walk right into our attic, which has also been, was unexpected, but it's also really amazing. And then they don't go around the corner here because I blocked it with the Christmas tree, but they have another door, and that goes down a hallway to that massive room over our garage, which we have since kind of started finishing, but was completely unfinished when Adair left it. And I love that option.
And we'll do basements like that as well. So it really gives you that sweat equity portion that's available.
That's good to know. In Creswell, we don't do basements. I don't know basement talk.
Yep, we can do basements and daylight basements here. So
very nice. We can do the daylights. So this room, what you're looking at, this is an 11.5 by 11.5. We've got a full-size bed in there, so about 4.5 by 6.5, and then also a full dresser. And again, plenty of walk-around space. I think my kids are thrilled to have this much room for themselves. And then 2 windows, and these windows are both 3x4. And they're a casement window, so harder to sneak out of in theory. Planning for down the road. And then that's it. So when we ordered, Adair wasn't painting yet. They weren't including paint in the base price. So we went ahead and painted. We painted the inside. And I don't know if you noticed, but upstairs, I had yet to finish painting the trim. I was so tired of painting by the time I got upstairs, so there were spots that still weren't finished. So it's amazing that Adair's now just taking that off your hands. It's done. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it.
Agreed.
We did hire someone to paint the outside, although initially we were planning to paint it ourselves. I'm really excited. We talked ourselves away. And that's it, really. That's as far as site prep goes. So we came in with just a flat gravel pad. We had a geological test that required a certain amount of compacted gravel. So we did have to have a compaction test done before Adair would come and pour foundation. And then we gave them a water spigot within 50 feet, and we gave them a power outlet within 50 feet, and they took it and ran with it. So that's really that's the end of the show. I don't know. What else should we include, Shari? Anything that was glaringly missing?
Gosh, no, you did fantastic. And just what a great job you did. Oh, questions coming in.
Yay.
So what was the site prep cost?
Site prep was, so if you remember, I had budgeted $100,000. We used every penny of that. I don't know, I wouldn't say necessarily that is the norm. So kind of actually out this back window, you can see we had a substantial cut into our bank to get that flat pad. More naturally, if we had stepped our foundation up the hill, we probably could have had some savings, but we wanted it to be flat. So, and then we also built in an F2 property that had a conditional use permit. So we had all these conditions of approval with our jurisdiction that we had to meet. One of them being 30 feet of just full clearing trees and then another 100 feet of limbing up. So we had a pretty substantial tree trimming, tree cutting bill as well. So $100,000, including building permits, and we used all of it.
Wow, that's crazy. We're not allowed to cut down trees up over here, so I can't.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it just depends on your area, but.
Okay, interesting.
Luis and Raylyn would like to know, was the decorative wall in the boys' rooms an upgrade or a DIY?
It was a DIY. I got antsy during construction, and luckily my superintendent was kind enough, or maybe he was a little nervous of me, I don't know, but he said I could go ahead and do it, so I did. I think he has the right to tell me no, stay out of the way till we're done, but he just appeased me and let me do that during construction.
Katie says beautiful house, and she has a couple questions. One, what kind of countertops in the kitchen and bath?
They are quartz. I think it was called frost white, maybe. It's a level A quartz.
Yes, that looks about right. Location of the house?
It is in the Willamette Valley. So if you're familiar with this region, we're kind of in the Jasper Pleasant Hill area.
Perfect. And last question, flooring in the upstairs bath.
Flooring in the upstairs bath. So I am a DIYer, and I'm not going to claim to be good at anything, but as soon as I got the keys in my hand, I promptly started projects. So immediately I had budgeted for this flooring upstairs in the bathroom and the downstairs primary bath. I ripped it out and replaced it with tile in the first month I was there. And luckily my husband is just used to me at this point. So when he comes home and I have a floor torn out, he just looks the other way. But I plan to eventually put that tile or a tile in these bathrooms as well, just because I like heated floors. So we do the heated coils on the tile. But these are actually surprisingly, I'm really happy with them. So they could stay longer than I had originally envisioned.
The standard flooring has come a long way from what it was even just 5 years ago. And that's one thing that a lot of my buyers are very excited about, is that really our standard features make a beautiful home. You don't have to do much upgrades unless you really want to.
100%.
But Natasha says, love the house. Great job.
Thank you.
Can Adair Homes do a tile roof? If so, any idea on the percentage increase?
We can't, as far as I know, this branch can't do tile roofs. I mean, I know we do them in some of our eastern and our southern branches. Shari, do you do tile roofs?
We only do it in the Arizona offices. But we can do, the metal roofs. That's the next option that we do a lot of here.
Okay. I want to say, so when I was talking with our Redmond HOC, he had an HOA at one point that required a tile roof, and he was able to bring in a subcontractor just because it was an HOA requirement. So I think we really draw the line on onboarding subcontractors. If it's a personal preference thing, we might say, we can't do it. But if it's we can't build this house unless you onboard somebody, then we would probably look into it a little more. But that's not an official, that's just my thoughts on it.
Hey, you learn something new every day. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're all caught up.
Yep.
Any final questions? Or otherwise, this video will be on YouTube in the next couple of days, so you can look through it, look at the plan, see what you think. If you have questions about the process, obviously you're welcome to reach out. Shari and I would both love to hear from you. We have a question.
Another question. How hard is it to find land to build, especially when you've never built a custom home before? They're total newbies.
Okay, I love this. And that's actually maybe a good segue to a couple of topics that we usually cover. So we want you to call your local Adair branch, and there's no prerequisite. So we want you to call like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. We don't even know where to start. So if you were to call Shari or I and say, we're looking for property, we're going to do just how I showed you at the beginning, those preliminary numbers. We're going to say, okay, based on what you're looking for in the house, based on what you're looking for in property, here's the split. And then we're going to connect you with a realtor partner, and our realtors are tried and true. So if they're at partner status, that means we trust that they're going to be a great guide to you. We know that they're going to be attentive and find properties are going to work for what you want to do. And then also make sure that they have you covered when they write that offer. So, oh, thank you. So that's where we would start. We would say, here's our realtor partner. We know this realtor has their ear to the ground as far as bare land, what's available, and they will guide you and help you find the right property for what you're looking for. So that would be where I'd encourage you to start. What additions to that, Shari? I think I just kind of word vomited.
Nope, I think you did a great job. It's really, that's what we're here for. And I think that's what people need to just give us a call. We can help in any way we can. So
absolutely. And if you're curious, so say a lot of times people are like, hey, I know if I want my monthly payment to be this much, I know that I want to keep my budget under this grand total, but it would not be unusual for you to just have no idea. So I always send people to Adair Financial. I think that they have an amazing program, but they also have a option to do a pre-qual or get you that kind of preliminary number without dinging your credit score. So they do a soft pull credit report, and they can say, okay, based on your debts, based on your income, here's what you're qualified for, or even based on what you want to spend, here's a number we suggest you stay at. And it doesn't hurt your credit score to find that information out. So even before you do a new presentation, if you're curious, you're an inquiring mind, you can talk to Adair Financial and find out, okay, we talked, we know we want to say below 700 or below 500. So it's just kind of a good for your own fact finding, good starting point.
For sure. And I don't know if you saw, but Katie said, thank you so much. This was amazing. Love your house, and you have great decorating skills.
So
and
Natasha, nice. Thank you.
Natasha says, please call us.
Okay. Call Natasha. Okay. I guess we are good to go. Thank you all so much for joining. We really appreciate having you here. Sorry. And then we'll keep planning these. I think Adair's got one scheduled almost every week at this point. So
it's been so awesome to see all these new floor plans coming about, and everyone's just genius at
it is
drafting and creating, and
never see the same thing twice, which I love.
I love it.
Okay. All right. We're out of here. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Katie.